The next many hours after my diagnosis, I had a lot of questions about why did this happen to me. I'm having difficulty comprehending because I've been doing everything I can daily to live and do healthy things like working out and running daily. And I wasn't a bad person. I've been helping my family for a long time. I know how to help my family and other people. I know how to care. It's hard for me to understand how all of these happened so suddenly and this early in my life. I'm in my early 40s. So for the next many hours in the hospital, I'm just trying to figure out why this happened. There must be a reason for all of these. I know God will not allow this to happen without a purpose. I have believed in God since I was small, and I still do now. I believe that nothing happens by accident. The why questions may be the one I will never get a clear answer to soon or ever, but I hope that someday, as long as God keeps me alive, I will get to know the answer. Since that time in April, this is still one of the top questions that come to my head. Of all the people in the US and the world, why does this have to happen to me? I was looking at the statistics for heart failure. There are about 6.2 million people in the US alone with heart failure currently. So it's just like 2%. One study projected to increase to 8 million in 2030. And then 1 out of 9 deaths in the US is because of heart failure. I don't want to think about death right now. But I'm part of the 2%. How lucky I am. I wish this were lotto and I won the $1 billion Powerball. I would be fine with that. But I got a jackpot of a disease. I keep thinking for so many years that I have so many stories already to tell, but I guess there will be more interesting stories in the future, starting with this. Yeah, there must be a reason, I know. God will not let this happen in vain. So one day, let me just tell you a story. While I was working and doing some online errands, I typically play something on TV. I'm just used to the white noise around me, which sometimes making me productive. But I wasn't really paying attention to what was playing most of the time. So one day, I was watching the 3rd season of The Chosen. It's a modern narration of the life of Jesus. It's a great show. It's just playing, and at one point there's some noise not from the TV that caught my attention and directed my eyes to the TV screen. It's a convo between Jesus and James. Then for the next 6 minutes, I just found myself intently listening and watching with tears flowing down my eyes. It is a direct answer to my why questions. Since my diagnosis and then in the next 5 months before my condition advanced and required major surgeries in September, I have been praying so hard every night while also doing what the doctor is telling me to do. I followed every instruction to a T and took all the medicines. I was so positive that medications and changes in my lifestyle, like eating habits, started eating low sodium food, and less stress from work would stabilize my heart, and I would never need the advanced surgeries. I was optimistic that science with a good positive attitude, a good spirit, and lots of prayers, everything would be under control, and I would get back to normal life soon. But if your prayers and expectations do not happen, it is tough to stay positive. Then a simple question of why has mutated into a bigger why. Why did I not get better after doing all the right things? I'm starting to question God. And I've heard a lot of these stories in the past. Some amazing stories of people getting healed and many who did not. But something led me to this exact moment in front of my TV, giving me answers to all the why questions in my head directly. I will stitch the clip at the end of this so you can see the exact clip I'm referring to. I see myself in little James with so many questions and doubts. I believe that the Lord is not making it too easy for me because that wouldn't be a great story to tell. The better story is, despite the challenges and the worsening situation, despite the risk and fear and danger, despite physical hardships and pain, I can still stay positive and talk about the goodness of God. That is what I wanted to do now and onwards. I hope that God will give me many more years after the heart transplant so that I can continue the second chapter of my life with much more meaning, with much more love and care. I could have had a cardiac arrest for so long before my diagnosis, but that did not happen because there is a reason. It's becoming clear to my head what God's purpose and direction is. I've been grateful for so many years since I was a child because God has given me tons of blessings in so many ways. He has given me opportunities in school. I excelled in school, in my career, in my social life. He has blessed me with a good job. I have savings in the bank. I have a family back home and very supportive friends in the Philippines and here in Chicago. But whatever God has given, He can also take away. It is true that when you reach a point where you feel you're losing your life, none of the material things, your savings, your asset, your career really matter. All you will ever think is that you just want to be alive tomorrow. It is comforting to think that God will not take without reason. Despite losing my health and all the material things I have been striving to build, I still acknowledge that God is in control and He will remain good to me to the end. I stop here. I'm sharing the clip because it might speak to you the way it has spoken to me and touched me. Thank you.